I don't know of a better charity. I don't know of a better cause than helping young children who frankly need help, need guidance, need to have attention in these after-school hours. It has really given us a great feeling.
So good.
Yeah, to have done this.
We're here today with Craig and Carolee Engstrand, and we're at the Boys and Girls Clubs of East County Santee Clubhouse. And we're here to talk with them this afternoon about their amazing gift of $1 million to the Boys and Girls Club of East County Foundation. First of all, a hearty thank you to you for this wonderful gift. And we look forward to many years of continuing our relationship with the Engstrands, and the clubs will have many years of assistance in what they do to bring the clubs to the girls and boys of East County.
Actually, it is club, as I indicated back there in '82. It was the Boys Club of El Cajon, and I had a good client, a legal client, who one day asked me if I would like to consider coming onto the board of the Boys Club of El Cajon. And at that time, I knew of the board of directors and of the Boys Club. Didn't know much about what it meant, what the clubs did. But knew that there were a lot of, I'll call them heavy hitters in El Cajon on the clubs, and that it had started, 21 years, I think it was 61 that it had started. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to be on the board and to meet some of these people with the goal of getting some additional legal work. And so that was the reason. Really didn't take too long once I understood what the function was, which is, of course, the clubs do many things, but the main thing is to take that time after school and keep children who less of a home life than many would have, keep them from having to be home alone, keep them off the street. And once I learned that was just I thought terrific, because I knew the advantages that my kids would have. We only had two, a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old at that time, and as babies. But I saw and understood, and so fairly quickly I became very enamored with the concept, and so that's been that way since. Well, we went to all the functions, and enjoyed all. Yeah, and of course, the big dinner dance is what the Boys Club of El Cajon did back then. They were always at the Hotel Del. It was the big fundraiser. My gosh, 500, 600, 700 people, and with entertainment, second tier entertainment, but good, that's what could afford. And so we went to all the functions, and that was kind of it. And so the job of the board was to raise money, was to sell tickets to the events, and the ball was the primary one, and that was kind of that was the main involvement that we had. Anybody kind of knows that if you're going to try to sustain something, you can try to do the year-to-year fundraising with the events, but you would like to get an endowment developed. And so many of us, and Bill, as you well know, you especially, we worked hard at it, trying to figure out how to get current gifts and then also pledges or gifts in trust and wills. And gosh, I think it was maybe 20 years ago, when we decided that we would put the clubs in our trust/will. And we tried to create a program. We called it the $1 Million Club. if I remember correctly. And it was to get people to make $1 million pledges in their estate plans. And so we did that, and but we weren't very successful in getting others to do so. It didn't go anywhere. And then a few years later, maybe 15 years ago, we increased it, frankly, to $2 million. And it was, though, just recently that we started talking about it, and frankly, we just decided we wanted to do something now and not wait for what is hopefully at least 20 years from now for us to help the clubs. And so we decided to do the current gift now and not the long-term gift. And we feel good about it. I'm glad it's here. I'm glad we're doing it when Forrest is here and Sam is here and the people. I mean, if it's 20 years from now, who knows who's going to be here, And so we're happy to have done it now and for it to get to work. It just feels good.
Feels good. Yeah. Yeah, it's the right thing to do. It helps out so many kids, It's just a wonderful thing.
The truth is that we've not spent a lot of time at the clubs seeing them. We really haven't. We know, just like you say, because you walk through and you see and it goes on every day, but we've not been hands-on. We've been at the board level. We know what's going on and know that, in our opinion, it's just fantastic and it's great. But our involvement has been, as we've talked about already, and from the board level. I know there are other board members that have, thankfully, been more active, a little more hands-on, and I think that's terrific, but that's not something we've done. I think the idea of having what I'll call a professional staff that are trained and sure, a lot of them are young, but they're well-trained and that they're there dedicated to that job. I think that's better, but again, as I think I said earlier, I felt good about knowing that there were some board members that did come in from time to time to help out, give their time. But I think the idea, that's one thing about the Boys and Girls Club, is the trained professional staff. That also is different than other organizations that try to help youth. I don't. I really don't. I don't have a vision of it. We've been on the foundation. We know the amount that's in the foundation. This gives it a bit of a kick to get something more that can be earned. And I leave it to the club operators, to the folks like Sam and Forrest and the ones that will follow in the decades ahead to do what's best. That's why we didn't even think about any kind of an earmarking of, how the proceeds would be used or this and that. We wanted to just give it to the general fund and then let the people that were running the show decide. Yeah, well, Bill, there are, of course, so many wonderful causes, from cancer research to everything else you could talk about, and so many different causes. For me, the idea of helping young people, disadvantaged young people, to give them a leg up from where they would be, to me, that's been the greatest calling. And that's why we have done what we have done. We've given a little bit here and there to other causes, but really nothing significant. And this is just where we decided to put our time and our resources. And, that's our choice. As I say, there's so many other great causes that people do. But to me, helping these children is the most important. Well, as we had tried, as I said, putting the Boys and Girls Club in your will, in your trust, so that at some point it comes to the clubs, but not out of your current assets, so to speak, is a good way to go. There are other vehicles of which I'm really not an expert on at all relative to gifting real estate and things like that, but I'm really not the one. I really don't know more than what I've just said. I don't know of a better charity. I don't know of a better cause than helping young children who frankly need help, need guidance, need to have attention in these after-school hours. It has really given us a great feeling.
Feel good.
Yeah, to have done this. Oh gosh, well I would tell them that it's a great idea.
Go for it.
Go for it. I tell you, we're on the third generation now. Third or fourth. I think it's the third generation. Now, there was the original folks that started it in '61. Then there's the group that I would put Bill and I in, which are the 81ers, 90ers, 2000s, and now there's been a third turnover in the corporate board, and now they've got all of these young go-getters on that corporate board. I'm so impressed with what they are doing and have done and are doing. The clubs are in great hands there, and I guess it won't be that many years. We'll be hitting the fourth generation in another 10 years or so. But it's not easy to transition these boards, and that's been one thing that has really worked well here, from the first group in the early 60s to the early 80, 90 groups, and now to the group we have now. That doesn't always happen, but it's happened here, and is why I think we have what we have. It is there for the pure purpose of providing operating funds on a yearly basis. Also there to help provide the capital funds for the new clubs. This club, money was raised by and through the foundation and the corporate board, and then for the new La Mesa clubhouse, which is it's the jewel of now, and it did the people, I really was not involved very much in that. Other people have stepped up and just did a terrific job to create that. And then the foundation now today is trying to properly oversee the funds that we have and grow it, and then trying to figure out ways to get additional gifts. And that's what we do. Again, as I say, after I was on the board not too long, it became clear to me what was really going on here, and I learned about it, which is the starting point is providing a place for children to go after school, instead of being key latch, at home alone kids, or worse, on the streets with no guidance of what they're doing. It's a place where they can go, a safe place that they can go. And I grew up where I had a stay-at-home mom. I grew up where I had a place to go. And I knew that our children would have a place to go, but I also knew that there were hundreds, if not thousands, of children in East County that did not. And so to try to even that playing field, you've got the boys club and the girls club back then, and then the joint. And it, you know, giving children, now we serve 6-year-olds and up, and all through grammar school and through into high school, a place to go to be safe, to have a quiet time for study if they wish, and to get guidance from good employees of the clubs is just invaluable. And there's so many mistakes made during that time. Call it from 2 to 6. Just a lot of mistakes, and that this can avoid. I just started thinking one day about what was in the trust and the will, which was, as I had indicated earlier, was a $2 million gift. But it just wasn't going to happen, hopefully for a good 20 years, let's just call it. And I thought, and I talked to Carol Lee about it, that really I think it would be good if we did something now. And the time value of money, I felt that $1 million now was a good, legitimate offset for $2 million in 20 years. And so that's how we decided on that. And we had the wherewithal, and it was made sense for us now. My children.
Yeah, mine, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's an Alan Jackson song, I forget the exact lines, but it's what I'm proudest of is what I've left behind. And we have 3 children, 42, 41, and 38. They're all successful in their very diverse lines of work. We've got Amazon Prime managers and teachers and a football coach, and we've got 7 grandchildren. Professional football coach, yeah. But they all are excellent people. They're all excellent people.
We're so proud of them.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. And so.
But we tried hard.
Right. And so the idea of helping, the idea of helping other families and helping their children, giving them a shot, because a lot of these, like we've talked about this, the disadvantaged kids that just don't have the resources to help them become what they can be.
Well, Carol Lee and Craig, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. And of course, thank you so much for this wonderful gift that will resonate in the clubs for years to come. We appreciate how much of an impact you have had on the Boys and Girls Clubs of East County over these many years. Thank you.